What's up? We got Arrow, season 4, episode 13, Sins of the Father. Okay, so let's get so let's start off with the recap for last time. The ending didn't make any sense. I didn't think the ending didn't make any sense, but anyway, this episode starts off where the last episode ended, where we see Oliver talking with Nyssa, and this is like, hey, he's her husband. And he's like, I know you're not. But kind of, if you check the marital laws, he kind of still is. We never saw him get annulled or anything. And he mentions it all the time in this episode that he are married. Yeah, so she's like, well, Oliver's considered killing Merlin, and Felicity's and Laurel's like, hey, he killed. He's the reason why Tommy's dead, and he also killed Sarah before Sarah being brought back to life. But he did kill Sarah, so yeah. So Felicity's dad comes back and comes. Sorry, I have to move my camera. He comes back into the episode as the calculator. You know, he comes back into this episode and he basically tells Felicity that he basically is like, hey, he worked for his employer until he was defeated by an unknown like presence, and he figured out that unknown person was Overwatch. So he's like, yeah, isn't that right? Overwatch. So he now knows Felicity is Overwatch. Could this been a reference to the Overwatch games, or is Overwatch an actual character? Who knows? I think the games came out right after the season, so I think Felicity was referencing the games before they didn't know they were referencing the games. I have no idea. So Felicity... forgot my pillow. So Felicity's like, hey, she says that they're both vigilantes, and yeah, so she basically calls her mom, and her mom basically gets mad at Felicity, saying about how her dad never changed, how people never change. But hold up, Donna. How do you know that people don't change? You had like one bad experience with Felicity's dad, and you just think that all people just don't change. Oliver Queen changed. He used to be from a vigilante who killed people, but now he's running for mayor and being the Green Arrow. And Thea, she used to really annoy me, but now I think she's one of my favorite characters. So, and Laurel, she also used to annoy me, but now she's one of my favorite characters. So, and Diggle. Well, Diggle never changed. He was always my favorite character. So, what are you... And Felicity went from one of my favorite characters to a person that annoyed me. So, you're wrong, Donna. People can change. Donna is wrong. People can change. So, yeah. So, she's like... her mom just told her that people can't change, and Oliver's like, some people can't. So, yeah. So Nyssa shows up saying, Oliver, give her the league ring. So Merlin's like, Oliver, your idiocy used to be really funny, and he mentioned that time when Thea was four months old, and she was being carried by her mom, by her maid Nyssa, which we haven't seen since the first season, and we haven't seen that Nyssa character since the first season, and he was like when he first saw Thea stuck her tongue out at him. And he knew that Thea was his. Yeah, but... So, yeah. He knew that Thea was his. So, yeah. But Laurel tries to bust in. She's like, Nyssa, And she's like, Laurel, if I was expecting the magician, but you will do. But if you will not, if Merlin does not give us the ring, I will let my men. You will see your city come to blood and death by in the blood of our enemies. And she's like, no, not my pillow. That was the only thing I made. There, my pillow back. And she's, but anyway, she's like, hey, she's by the blood of her enemies. And she's like, you're gonna kill 6 to 1,000 people. And yeah, so then he's like, this is an ambush, and they fight, and Oliver's like, and then he's like, so she's like, hey, your father still has a hold on you. What you said before kind of sounds like what your father would say. So, and he's dead, so you're finally free. So, yeah, so they decide to accept a trial by combat, but instead of doing it on a mountain instead of doing it on a mountain, they do it on a city top. They say they gotta be shirtless, but I didn't see John Barrowman or Katrina ever get shirtless. So yeah, but then I was like, hold up, I'll be fighting you, Merlin, as the honor of his wife, as the husband of Nyssa Al Ghul. I'll be fighting you. Yeah, but then he knocks him down, and he's like, hey. And he's like, hey, kill him, Oliver. But then Oliver's like, nope, and teabags him. Prison break teabags him, cutting off Merlin's hand. So yeah. So Merlin also revealed that he knows about Oliver's son, William. And he was like, if there was a better option, he would continue to find it. So, yeah. So, Thea has used the elixir, so now the bloodlust is completely gone from Thea's system. She no longer has that bloodlust. She no longer has the bloodlust. And so, yeah. But anyway, so yeah, so he's like, thanks for cutting off the hair. And he's like, the magician, and he's like, and she takes off the ring, and he's like, what are you doing? And she burns the League ring, saying that she disbanded the League of Assassins, releasing them from their duty like her father did to him. And Merlin basically mad at Oliver now, and is basically like, and he's like, are you gonna kill him? And he's like, death would be a mercy from now, the debt now I owe you. And he's like, don't threaten him, Malcolm. So Malcolm basically says, hey, Damien Dark, want to meet up? And Damien Dark's like, sure. So let me see them meet up. And Damien Dark's like, hey, what? And he's like, I know who Oliver Queen cares more about in the world. And he's like, yeah, Felicity Smoke, we shot her up last year. And he's like, we shot her up like a month ago. And he's like, not Felicity Smoke, his son, William. William. Yeah. Ra's al Ghul, the foreign Ra's al Ghul, Malcolm Merlin just offered up William to Damien Dark because he dislikes Oliver. And that's the episode. That's the episode, everybody. I really enjoyed this one. It was pretty good. It was better than the last episode. Thea is now awake, and all the bloodlust is gone from her system, which is good. Only if they could do the same thing to Sarah, but they probably won't mention Sarah's bloodlust ever again. It was probably just a... But anyway, yeah. Thea's bloodlust is gone at least. Yeah, and also Felicity decided to realize something is that she can call the police on her dad, and her dad was is now in prison. I don't know if I should be happy that Felicity sent her dad to jail. I know her dad left him, but he just didn't want. Felicity's dad explains before being arrested that he left Felicity because he didn't think being a life on the run is what he offered to her, and she was like, "Yeah, you're right." you were running from prison. Now he's in jail. Okay, so I thought this episode was pretty great. The last episode was confusing ending, but this episode was oh no ending, because now Damien Dark knows about William because of Malcolm Merlin. As I said before, Laurel and Thea were the most annoying characters in the entire show, but now they're pretty tolerable. John Diggle has always been the best. Felicity was my favorite character, but now she's a whiny little girl, a whiny girl child. And Oliver Queen is just boring now. Like, Oliver, season 2 and 3, Oliver, my Aunt Dewey, who's the best, loves the Oliver when he was killing people because it was the best, interesting. And I can agree a bit. His whole no killing thing because of Tommy is just a way of saying, hey, we want the Green Lantern to be just like Batman now. He doesn't kill people anymore. But yeah, I'm just saying, it's kind of boring seeing Oliver just punch people in the face now. And Roy's just gone. Like, Roy doesn't even, check up on Thea. He's just gone. That's the time we see of Roy in this episode, in the last episode, is her saying, I love you, Roy Harper. And then he's just gone. We don't see it in this episode. It would have been like in the last episode have him. I know they say he was leaving, but the last thing we see of him was Thea and him saying, I love you, Roy Harper. With her saying, I love you, Roy Harper. And that's it. That's all we see of them. That's all we see of them. But anyway, that was it for this video. And I'll see you next time for some more Arrow. And please say next episode is way better, because this episode is okay. Because this episode is this episode's okay too. I feel like Arrow season 4, I may have mentioned I feel like Arrow season 4, I'm gonna say it, I feel like Arrow season 4's flashbacks are again pretty boring. I only did them in the first episode because I thought they'd be interesting, but every time I see them, they're just boring. Oliver's flashback, Oliver spends time in a cave with Tatiana, and also met John Constantine, which I also mentioned. And the main villain is Baron Ryder, which is also boring. So I feel like Arrow season 4's flashbacks are pretty boring out of my eye. But anyway, that was it for this video, and I'll see you next time for some more Arrow.